Girl and the Great Forest Spirit. Once upon a time, there was a young girl who lived in a quiet town in the country. She loved being outside and exploring the depths of the forest surrounding her home. The girl knew all the plants and all the animals, and she almost felt like she was part of the forest itself, but she did not know that the forest felt the same way about her. The Great Forest Spirit had been watching the girl ever since she was young, and he knew everything about her. He quietly and patiently observed the girl as she explored the trees and talked to the plants that she loved most, the strong Douglas fir trees and the ferns that tickled her feet as she walked. As the girl grew older, the Great Forest Spirit knew he was about to lose his beloved child to the outer world. He thought deeply of how he could keep this child for himself. He had watched many children come and go over the years, but he had never seen a child so adapted to the natural environment with a love of the forest equal to his own. The Great Spirit decided he would approach the child and give her the choice to become part of the forest and live with him forever, or leave this world to never again know the beauty of the forest, because he could not bear the thought of losing her and having to see her again. Day became night and night became day, and the girl once again appeared in the forest. She was barefooted, walking along the soft fallen leaves as thin beams of light drifted through the trees to alight her happy face. The Great Forest Spirit came upon her path, although she did not notice him at first. He drifted through the fauna and listened to her humming along her path. He suddenly spoke to her. "Hello, my precious child of the forest. I am so pleased to see that you have returned to visit me again." He thought he may have scared her, but she only paused for a moment and squinted her eyes into the place where she heard his voice. "Who are you?" the girl asked. "I have watched you since the time you were a young child, wandering through my forest, and I have decided that you must stay with me forever, for I cannot imagine living without you." The girl quietly stood, contemplating his words, thinking about what she should do. Then she said, "Can you not come with me, and we will explore the world together?" The Great Spirit spoke again, saying, "I am the guardian and keeper of this forest. I have been here for thousands of years. I cannot leave my forest alone and vulnerable for the evil spirits to take over. But you will stay here and become my forest queen, as I have become lonely for a companion to rule over the forest beside me. Your beauty and grace will allow the flowers to bloom brighter and in more abundance. I will create a special fauna just for you, so you will always be known throughout the forest as queen and caretaker." The quiet, thoughtful girl, who rarely spoke, simply nodded her head in agreement with the Great Forest Spirit. That day, she walked deep into the forest and was never seen again. The girl's family became worried that night when she did not return home. They stayed up all night waiting to hear something about her, thinking the worst news would arrive. After a sleepless night, when dawn appeared, the family gathered together to search their home and the forest they knew she loved to explore. They organized in groups, worried about their own safety, as they slowly approached the dark forest with thoughts of disaster and danger upon them. But as the family members entered the forest, they felt a calming presence come over them, and and they continued the search for their lost child. Hours passed without a trace of the girl found. As the searchers passed through the forest, they began to notice beautiful flowers standing alone amongst the deep fauna of the dark forest. No one had ever seen such beautiful individual flowers hidden amongst the dark green foliage. One young friend of the lost girl went over to pick the flower, but as she reached down, the flower seemed to whisper to her, "Let me remain here, where I belong, in the beauty of the forest." The young friend left the fragile flower and told the others that they would never find their beloved child, but that she had become transformed by the forest itself. The reluctant searchers sadly left the forest, but as the years passed, they returned every fall to see the lovely flowers in bloom that reminded them so much of their lost child. The white petals reminded them of her clear, pale skin, and their individual stature echoed the nature of the peaceful girl who wandered alone into the forest. The trillium is a rare, beautiful flower found in many forests of North America. It is damaged when the flower is picked and takes 3 years